what I want everyone to be thinking about as we work through we're talking about business specifically. So we talk a lot about business and how it relates to these specific laws and some of the, maybe they're unwritten laws of business, but also how these laws apply to your career. And by applying these laws to your career, how you can grow the value that you are able to deliver. One of the things that we talk about a lot at CapEx, really important, is that we be delivering value all the time, right? So we always want to be adding value. We want to be adding value to the customers that we serve, to the principals that we represent. That is our mission, is to always be adding value. So as it relates to a career and business in general, right? That's how we all get compensated, is by delivering value. So as far as what we do, CapEx, as a reminder here, this is the only sales pitch that we provide here. We represent ATC Automation out of Cookeville, Tennessee. 85% of our business is with repeat customers. That says a lot in the automation world, because there are a lot of dead soldiers out there as far as equipment that was delivered, but did not do well and did not succeed. And so, but ATC works to make it right when it isn't wrong. Not that every project has been amazing, but sometimes there are challenging projects, but ATC sticks with it and makes sure that our customers are satisfied in the end. And that's what keeps them coming back time and time again. Very unique company. Amazing at what they do. Cincinnati Test Systems is the largest leak test company in the world. When I started working with them, it's hard to believe, almost 30 years ago, they were just coming of age, and now they are the largest company that leak tests functional testing in the world. Again, a great company to work with. Duquesne Plastic Joining. They are a global and diverse plastic joining company. They do hot plate welding, laser welding, vibration welding, ultrasonic welding, all things plastic joining is their focus. And then Symmetric is a division of Cincinnati Test Systems, but we break them out because they're a bit unique in that they do high-speed in-process data test and data management for that shop floor Internet of Things effort that are going on these days in the manufacturing world. And then Keller Technologies, right here in Fort Mill, South Carolina, they have a comprehensive line of industrial air filtration, wet as well as dry air filtration applications. All right, the sales part is done. So here's the challenge. So again, we're going to talk about the laws of business and the challenges that we have. But I want you to think of this as it relates to your career. In particular, if you're a manufacturing engineer, actually, it doesn't matter what you do. But you deliver value to your company. And the way that we all, as a general rule, we want to be able to earn more money. We want to have more left over at the end of the month, right? That's the mission. The way that we do that is that we increase the value that we are able to deliver to the businesses we serve. So business is an exchange of value for value, right? So the value that we are compensated in general is with dollars, at least here in the United States. We're going to get compensated. The value is going to be with dollars, but the value that we deliver is going to be a product or a service. It's going to be, one of those two things. So the important aspect of this is that the values match up. So there are, multiple steps in the process of this exchange, right? Because that's what business is, or that's what employment is, right? We are exchanging the value that we are able to deliver and our time. So when we're an employee, it's the value that we're able to bring and our time. We're exchanging that for compensation. So, and there are many different ways. It's not just monetary compensation. It's a sense of inclusion, involvement in something bigger than the self. That's the ideal. So here are the steps that go along. So the offer, an agreement, a delivery, and then there's the post-exchange follow-up as part of the value delivery, the business exchange. So how does your customer feel about your company? How does your employer feel about your work? So again, business is a relationship, but too often we treat it as though it's a transaction. And I see this a lot from an employment perspective as well, is we treat our employment as transactional. There's a lot of hopping, skipping, jumping around these days in business. But the way that we are able to oftentimes, unfortunately, capture the value that we're able to bring from an employee perspective is you got to exit your current business to get to another business that might pay you more. So that's unfortunate that the value is not recognized with your existing employer. So it's important as employees that we help them see the value that we're delivering. So transactions are easy, and relationships, it takes effort to build relationships and keep those relationships healthy and strong. It is a lot easier to keep a customer, however, than it is to go out and find a new customer. So that has been proven time and again. Lots of studies have been conducted. It is way more expensive to acquire a customer than it is to keep a customer. But yet, so often in business, we are focused on going out there and finding the next customer as opposed to just servicing the customers that we have in a way that's going to keep them coming back and being more part of our organization or our business. So the relationships so some laws of business should never be broken. We care and you matter to us, right? So that's that's the message that we always want to be sending to our customers. We care and you matter to us. So your employer, the same thing. I care. This job matters to me. Our success as a company, as a business matters to me as well. So now let's talk about the service that we deliver. So customers are interested in their own experience, advantage or benefit. So whatever we deliver, ideally, the value is going to exceed the cost that our customer is going to pay for that value. So ideally, as an employee, again, as we bring this back to what we're doing on a day-to-day basis as employees, ideally the value that we deliver exceeds that which with which we are being compensated. And that sounds backwards, and a lot of people that might argue with that. But if you want to grow in your organization, you've got to deliver more value than what you're getting paid for. It is the people that just deliver the right amount of value based on what they feel they're getting compensated. So they're getting $40,000 paid, $40,000 a year. They're going to deliver $39,950 worth of value to their company. So they're measuring that. They're trying to quantify it. Well, they're always going to do that. And they're going to be the first people to get cut from that organization because they are not delivering the value that exceeds what they are actually getting paid for. So it's important that, again, that we deliver value, and it won't stay that. So if you're delivering $60,000 worth of value and you're getting paid 40, that will catch up. That will catch up to you. Your organization at some point in time will recognize that, or again, you will find another place where you can deliver value at a higher level, and they'll get compensated. Again, that's the law of growth. So companies make it about them lose. I've seen this time and again where companies will feel that they get a little self-righteous. So these relationships get long, and they get self-righteous. They think that their success is about them. In reality, our success is never really about us. It is about the value that we deliver and then helping other people to be successful. It's always our customers or our employees or employers that we want to succeed, because when they succeed, then that in turn is going to help us succeed on into the future. So we want to maximize the value that we're delivering and not just be obsessed and focused on maximizing the bottom line. The bottom line is important. It's really important. Obviously in business, we need to be profitable, but if that's what it's all about, then your business is going to be short-lived because your customers are going to sniff that out, and they're going to recognize that. And it's no fun to work with a company that is obsessed and focused only on the bottom line and not focused on building the relationships or delivering and exceeding the value with which we promised to our customer. So keep it focused on a positive experience with the customer, the ideal outcome, right? What is the ideal outcome? We got to visualize that. We got to think about it. Hopefully we've executed that and multiple times, so we know what the ideal outcome is for the application, for the product or the service that we are delivering. And so how can you make that happen for them? How can you deliver on that value that is being promised? How can your company do that? So the next thing that we're looking for, the laws of business, fairness, critical, right? Always provide an honest pay for an honest day's work, right? The value delivered should always be equal to or greater than the value received. So we've already talked about the idea of delivering value. Um, so maximize profit is something that we mentioned earlier. So we have a tendency, we want to maximize our profit, and that can get us out of balance, right? So that exchange becomes win-lose versus win-win. So customers know intuitively when they are not being fairly treated, and that means, and so they're not gonna come back at the end of the day. So it's really a recipe for disaster when we make it about us. The customers will go away. We need to train the team to deliver value all the way up and down. So if you have a company, or if you're part of an organization, or if you run a team, what you've got to do, well, you don't have to, but ideally, you will focus on delivering value from all aspects of the business. When someone calls your organization, how is the phone being answered? What is the sense of joy that the person on the other end is expressing to the person that's calling? Hey, thank you for calling. How may we help you? It's a beautiful day. How may I help you? Or is it there's a difference, right? The energy that we are putting off just by answering the phone. How do we deal with accounts receivable? How do we deal with accounts payable? How are we interacting with our customers in those aspects of our business when we're interacting directly with so in our business, let's say we've got a mechanical engineer and we're doing a design review. How is that person showing up? Are they making it about them? Are they chest thumping about how great their design is? Or are they looking for input and feedback on how to make that design better and make sure that what we ultimately design is what the customer wants and is going to work well in their facility? So that's all part of making sure that the customer is the focus for success in delivering the product and value that we are. All right, the next law of business is honesty. So always tell your customer the truth. Do not embellish. Do not overpromise. You want to, if anything, underpromise and overdeliver. So honesty is critical. You think about the customer business relationship, or even the relationship, again, with employee-employer. It has to be built on honesty. We need to be able to trust each other. In order for it to make sure that it's not transactional, there has to be a relationship. And these are all key components of relationships at the end of the day. So if you forgot about it, say, hey, I forgot about it, right? So we need to be able to honestly admit when we've made a mistake. So if it's more work than you're expected, say, hey, it's more work than we expected. It's taking us longer. If we are out of the resources necessary, hey, we are out of the resources. What we tend to do is make stuff up because we don't want to tell our customer the truth about what is going on. Now, I'm speaking facetiously. I'm not saying that that's what we do, but it can certainly be a mode that we get into because we don't want to let somebody down, so we don't tell them the truth. Really important that we always speak the truth, speak reality about what's going on with projects in particular. And you got to be honest with your employer, right? If I can't do it, or I don't know, or there's not enough hours for me to execute this, what has to give? Get them involved in the process as well, but don't tell them you're going to be able to do something and then ultimately not deliver, because that's going to hurt your capital within the organization, your value that you're able to deliver and then get rewarded for long term. So why do businesses struggle with the truth? So relationships between people, right? Honesty is critical for the long-term success of the relationship. Business relationships are not any different. I already went through that with you. So the truth can sometimes hurt, but it will always set us free because lies are like a boomerang. They might feel good in the beginning and they're going out and everybody's buying into it. But eventually, the more we talk, the more we interact, that boomerang's going to come back and hit us right square in the nose. So it's important that we are honest and live in reality. Dignity and humility. So always be respectful toward your customer, especially when it comes to handling complaints. Here is a general approach when we do have complaints. And doing this again in your organization, I see so many employees that get self-righteous with their organization. So and oftentimes there's a breakdown because we weren't doing the laws that came before this law right here. So if there is a complaint, let's make sure that we listen to understand. We want to make sure that we separate the complaint from the complainer. Very important, but it takes a level of maturity that many of us don't have to be able to hear what's going on. So somebody's calling your baby ugly, right? The tendency is to get mad. We're going to get frustrated. But if we value the relationship in the exchange, we're going to listen to the complaint and we're going to think about the complaint separate from the complainer. Now, I fully understand that there are lots of people out there that just love to complain for the sake of complaining. And it's important to understand that and conceptualize that. But at the end of the day, our task from a business perspective is to satisfy our customers' needs. So we want to make sure that the complaint that we're hearing, how do we identify, isolate it, and then correct it? That's the mission, not focusing on the complainer or the language that they might be using. So avoid the temptation to minimize the complaint. I see this all the time. You've experienced it. We all experience it. Oh, well, that just happens, or well, what did you expect? Or, oh, it's no big deal. Well, if they're complaining, if someone's bringing it to us, then it's probably a big deal to them, and therefore it should matter to us. Demonstrate sincere empathy. That is, the ability to put ourselves in another person's shoes is how we demonstrate empathy. Ask questions to understand their mindset. What were they expecting as it related to this particular product? And then that can help us uncover where the challenge came up. And go for win-win. So, what would be the best solution, the ideal solution to this complaint if money was not an issue? So if we say, take money off the table, what would be the ideal solution? So if you were the person complaining, what would you want done in order to be resolved? My favorite question when it comes to solving this particular challenge here is what is the right thing to do? What is the right thing to do? And then do the right thing. It's just that simple. It does say hard. It says easy, does hard. I get it, but that is ultimately how we preserve these relationships. So businesses that stand the test of time continuously adjust and adapt to the times by constantly improving their service or product. In these COVID times, some businesses, they stepped it up. They changed how they were doing business. They adapted to the current reality and adjusted their business accordingly. And there are many businesses that didn't. And as a result, they are struggling and likely will not survive because they were unwilling to make the necessary changes to change with the customer's expectations and needs. So reward employees for innovative strategies that improve your business's service or products. Really important, right? That's that continual improvement, continual growth. That's how we continue to grow a business, is by delivering more and more value for our customers or to our customers. So have regular discussions with other organizations. So get a network of people of that are in the same industry. Don't think about it as competition. Think about it as people that you can learn from and see what they're doing that's working and what they're doing that's not working. Share and spread ideas for growing your industry. So attend industry events. That's another way to get out there and grow that business. Again, know more of what's going on. Blue Ocean. So check out the Blue Ocean Strategy if you haven't read it. Phenomenal book. Marketing Myopia is another read. It's more of just a brief read, but phenomenal in helping us to understand how we are, how this idea of business works and the idea of how we should treat our customers. So demonstrate sincere appreciation and gratitude toward the customer. Write thank yous if you need to. Demonstrate sincere appreciation toward your boss, and towards your company that you are working for. Again, if even if you don't like your job, if you don't like the company, you will not be there long, as Jim Rohn says, if you pour into that organization and focus on helping that business to grow, helping the customers to succeed, and helping the people that you report to and work with internally to grow as well. We only get paid more, compensated more based on the value that we deliver. Remember, that's the key. Top to bottom, companies should express gratitude for their customers. They need to award the customers. I mean, that's so key. We don't exist without customers, period. That's why I'm always saying, thank you so much for your business. Every customer, we are grateful for the opportunity to serve the customers that we have here in the Carolinas and Virginia. We don't exist without customers, period. No business does. So the expression of gratitude is free, and it will transform your entire business. It really will, top to bottom. It will transform your business, and it'll transform your life if you implement that just in general, in demonstrating appreciation at all aspects of your life. So these are the laws of business. These are critical laws. If you want long-term relationships with your customers, if you want long-term relationships and to grow the value that you have in your organization, you want to make sure that you are delivering service at a high level, that you are exceeding expectations, that you are fair in your dealings with your customers. You want to make sure that you are honest in your dealings with your customers. Always tell the truth. Dignity and humility. You do not exist. We do not exist without customers. It's important that we always keep that top of mind. That we also focus on and think about that legacy, that long term. We want a business to exist far beyond our efforts. So what are we doing to help ensure that the business is going to succeed and thrive long term, and then demonstrate gratitude at every avenue, every opportunity that we have inside the business. So our next conversation will be on the day before Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about the fundamentals of a capital project. So again, who we serve most often, we talk with manufacturing engineers that are out there in the manufacturing world, and we want to help them get better and grow in their career. Again, we want to be just adding value to our customers. If you have any ideas, any topics that you'd like for us to cover and go in depth in manufacturing or in business or life in general, you just throw it out there, and if we can deliver on some level of value, we will definitely put together a presentation. Again, we want to just help our customers grow. So here's who we have here at CapEx Sales. We got Mike Dorsey, South Carolina. We got Chris Mullins up in Eastern North Carolina and Virginia. And then I am focused on Western North Carolina and select upstate South Carolina accounts. Again, can't express our appreciation enough for all that our customers deliver in all of our principles. I mean, our principles are the ones that ultimately execute these projects and keep our customers coming back for more. Have an amazing day. Mike, Chris, anything to add?
Well done. Well done. Thank you very much for all the business out there from our customers. We appreciate it, like Russ said. Well done, Russ. Appreciate you.
All right, fantastic.
Great insight, Russ. Thank you very much.
Right on. Thank you, Mike. Everyone, feel free to share this. If there are any topics that you want us to cover, just let us know, and we will gladly cover those topics, obviously, if it's relevant, if it's something that we can add value to. So have an awesome day. Appreciate each and every one of you.